Welcome to part 2 of the best Kapkan spots on every ranked map in Rainbow Six Siege. If you missed part 1, it's up here on the top right if you want to check it out. But without further ado, let's get started with part 2, and our first map is going to be Consulate. And my first spot is right over here in the A bomb site if you go upstairs, and it's going to be on the right side of this double door that leads into meeting. So a lot of players, it's common to push admin or even to push from spiral stairs into reception, and they'll try and take control of A. They go into meeting, get hit with a nasty little Kapkan trap. Second spot is just a single Kapkan trap, but it's right over here by the printer door. If you just toss one right down low on printer, sometimes they'll Maru up or even ram into admin, and then they'll try and rush in to try and quickly get into A. And this one, you don't want to waste too many traps here in case they don't rush this spot, but it will help you get some intel and know, hey, someone's pushing right here and they're weak already because they hit my Kapkan trap. Moving downstairs, we have the classic Kapkan spot right here in Visa, and it's just the double Kapkan on the double door right here. Still, even though this map's been reworked, it's very common for them to push in from the Visa door and then to come up and try and go upstairs, or if you're on the first floor, to try and push through this hallway. This Kapkan trap counters both of those. Another solid one is in here in piano. When you go basement, it's super common for a fuse to hop in from the closet and then head over and start fusing in piano, and just throwing one or two on this closet door can catch them off guard and then actually down or eliminate the fuse without you having to have a dedicated roamer in this room. And for our final Kapkan trap, we're headed down to the basement, and this one is actually all the way over in the hallway by the locker door. You just put a couple right here because often people will come down this back stairway back here and they'll drone all this out really well, and if it's clear, they check in here, all that, and then once they think it's clear, they're like, alright, time to push in the hall. Kapkan waiting for them to get them at the last second. So that's Consulate. Now let's move on to our next map, which is Kafe Dostoyevsky. Kafe, one of the most underrated maps for Kapkan, and I think the reason for that is because he's not too useful on the top floor. Second floor site, not really the spot to go Kapkan, but there is one Kapkan spot that I really like, and it's over here on freezer, or on the freezer door. Well, I guess this is the freezer door, but you know what I mean, the area that goes into freezer, because so often they will try and take control of new hatch, come all the way here to bar, and then they'll try and push into A through the rotate right here, and this Kapkan just catches them off guard a lot of the time. For the second floor, one spot I really like if you are going the top floor site is to put one or two actually in the laundry room on this door, because a pretty common strat is for players to Amaru up this hatch, and they'll Amaru into fireplace, come over here and try to Amaru up this hatch, but by having these Kapkan traps, it stops that and immediately downs the Amaru. Another great spot for Kapkan is down here on the first floor on the VIP wall. These kind of sink in, which is nice. They're not hidden really, but they are very hard to see, especially at like a quick glance like this. So the most common push down here, break open this wall, try and get this wall, but during that, players will come through here in order to get control of bar and this main hallway, and this Kapkan can catch a ton of people off guard. Next spot is right over here in coat check. I usually just toss one right here, just on this hop-in window, because players will push in through the dining window over there or through the main door, and then they'll usually hop in here in order to continue pushing into the main hallway, and this one just softens them up a little bit, hurts the attackers while they're trying to do that. And then the final Kapkan trap, the classic, over here in kitchen. Just one or two on this kitchen doorway, so that way when attackers are pushing in, they have a lot to worry about when they're pushing prep. This is not a safe area to be in as an attacker, and they're going to want to get through here as quickly as possible. And you don't want to like run up and hop through this window because you're going to get slammed from someone sitting back there. So a lot of times they'll rush in and try and get behind this little stove right here, and that's where these Kapkans come into place. But that is Cafe. Now let's move on to the next map, Canal. Now Canal, not the best map for Kapkan, if we're being honest, but there are some good spots here. You just gotta find them. One spot that will catch a lot of attackers off guard is to toss 1 or 2 Kapkans. I usually just go with one right here on the server door because, you know, either they push in from green or they take control of A. Neither one of these are good scenarios for you as a defender, but if they do, they're going to be looking for people and less on the prowl for traps, and just having one there to catch them, maybe down someone who's already hurt or eliminate them, is a very good practice. Down here in Coast Guard, we have one of the best Kapkan traps on Canal, and it's just the triple Kapkan right here on this door. A ton of players fall for this one. They push in from reception and hurry up to try and come get this hatch, and the Kapkan absolutely destroys them. Now, if you go basement, an underrated one is right here on the main bridge. You just toss a couple on this doorway. A lot of players will try and sneak in from the green stairs over here or up the bottom of the red stairs and come over to take control of Coast Guard, and this one catches a lot of players off guard. And then in that same vein, another good one is right here on the construction door. If they try and sneak in through here when you're basement, or even if you're upstairs and they're just trying to rush, they may not notice these Kapkans on this door. This one I don't use as often, but if I'm playing a super aggressive team, these can be a really good help. And then finally, in the basement, this one I like to just make it super annoying to push. So a lot of times players will, you know, take control of lockers and then push in. And so what you're going to do is set up this triple Kapkan threat. You have one in the main hall, one over on the right side of shower, and then all the way down the hall you have another one on the right side of bathroom. This just makes it super annoying because any way they push in here, they have to deal with Kapkan traps, take their eyes off the fight to get them, and then if they just try and rush down, they're going to hit them and hit this one as well. So that is Canal. Now let's move on to Oregon. So Oregon can be very good for Kapkan. It just kind of depends on the team you're playing and how they approach the map. But you got to start off with the classic right over here in the closet. Just toss a couple on this door. Is super common for them to take control of this and either ace and then push in, or bring a thermite to try and get this wall that goes into games, and these two will catch someone who's not paying attention every single time. Now, another unexpected one is right here in Split on the first floor, and I like to toss them on this left doorway. Usually when you go basement, someone might come through meeting in order to get the meeting hatch, and I'm telling you, it's like 99% of the time they go right here. They never go to the left for some reason. I don't know why. If you feel like they're gonna go left, go ahead and put them right there. But I don't want to use 4 on Split, so I just toss them on the right side because that's where I feel that they go the most. Another great Kapkan spot for the first floor is over here in the shower corridor. Right here, you can see it kind of tucks in to the wall, makes them harder to spot. I like to throw 3 right here because almost every round you go basement, someone's going to push in from small tower in order to push freezer, and if they're not wary, they're getting destroyed by these 3. And it really hurts the attacker's push when they have no one pushing backside. Now, I have a couple great spots in the basement. One you may not think of is right here on the pillar double door, whatever you would call this door. Tossing a couple right here is a great way to get a last round or a late round elimination. I actually died to this on a round 9 where I was in a 1v1. It was super embarrassing. But yeah, you know, they push from construction, they push down the boiler stairs, all this, and then very late into the game, they might look right here, but they're not checking this. They're going to be worried about this hallway. You know, by the time they push here, rounds got to be nearing its end, and they're just trying to rush to get the kill, and they get destroyed by this Kapkan trap. And then another underrated one, if they do get control of this tarp wall, to put a couple, or at least one, right here in the closet, because, you know, if you have a mirror or you just have head holes, players will just come through here to check the room, and then they'll just hit this not expecting anything to be right there. But those are my favorite spots for Oregon. Now let's move on to Outback. So on Outback, my favorite Kapkan trap is right here when you go second floor on Connector by this little doorway. Because, you know, it's common for people to push games and, you know, try and push into piano this way, and they might get hit that way. But also, if someone's rushing bathroom and they're not paying attention, they're blind, freaking out, they may rush in the games and also get hit. Or if they're on piano and they're not looking at all, sometimes they will rush back into games if, you know, you got someone flanking or something and get hit by them as well. So it's just, you know, you got 3 doorways around it. How could you not like this Kapkan spot? Another good one is right here by the bull, is just to tuck them in this corner, because a lot of people don't really recognize this as a doorway because it's never barricaded off or anything, and they'll usually push up short stairs, come over here to bull, try and start contesting sight, and you got some Kapkans waiting for you. Now over in reception, I like to throw a little double Kapkan trap right here. Well, I mean by double is one on this door and then one on the door that goes outside, because that way it kind of gives them like false security. They push in through garage, they see that one, oh, get rid of it, and they're destroyed. They push in through reception, they shoot this one, but then there's another one waiting for them right there. And then similar to how we did on Canal, another thing I like to do is when you go green room, red room, is to just create a little Kapkan maze for the attackers. So you throw one right there, one on this door in case they hop in from the window, they're never going to see that. And then another good one is if they are dropping the hatch, just to toss one down here, because, you know, you got a lot to look at right here. You're not going to be worried about Kapkan all the way this deep on site, and they might even hit this one as well just because it's tucked in that corner. But those are my favorite Outback spots. Now let's move on to Skyscraper. So on Skyscraper, the name of the game is kind of catching your opponents off guard. You're not really going to be able to hit them with too many Kapkan traps, so what I like to do is just bank on where I'm going to hit them and put 3 and 2. I don't really spread them out in ones on Skyscraper, because the way you push the map is kind of confined. It's rare someone will push all the way across the map. So if I think they're going to take this wall, I might leave it, you know, hey, don't put a bandit or arcade on it. They can take the wall, throw 3 right here. Or if I think that they're going to push this window, say we have Cade still, so we know they're not getting this wall, you can throw them on the other side. So when they take the window, they might push behind here and get hit. But I really like this spot just because it's so, like, odd. You never think of this as a doorway. You can even put, if you want to be really brave, this will probably get droned out because they're so, like, out of the way, but you can't do the all 5. Another solid one is right here in Tea Room, just left side of the door. It's pretty common. Push geisha, spiral, or whatever, L stairs, or drums, and try and get into the room. And then this one will catch them off guard. Another solid one is right here on Samurai. This works if you go either tea room or if you go office, because, you know, this room still gets pushed either way. And a lot of times they'll push in to either get the plant, or they'll just push through here to move through to the other side of the map. And this one can get you a lot of eliminations. Downstairs, one of my favorite ones, if you go upstairs, sometimes they'll push through here to try and get to these stairs. And a great one to have is right here in bedroom. Rarely gets droned, even though there's literally a drone hole right here. For some reason, this one just gets a lot of hits for me. Maybe it's just me, I don't know. But a lot of times they hop in through there and they just try and rush over to the stairs and get destroyed. Same concept, you could put one right here, but I find a lot of the time, if they're going to be pushing through this side entrance, they drone it really well, and these are so out in the open that they get seen. And then our final Kapkan spot is right over here by the bathroom. It's pretty common for people to push underneath right here when you go above, and usually I'll put like some head holes or something in this wall so that they're freaking out trying to fight, and then they finally, you know, get control, they go to push out, and they get wrecked by some Kapkan traps. But that is it for Skyscraper. Now let's move on to Theme Park. Now, on Theme Park, for some reason, I don't know why, this Kapkan spot still works is the double-sided Kapkan right here on the main door, or gong door, as I guess it's technically called. I guess it's just the little huts right here kind of obscure them from attackers, because I just get kills with this. I don't know. They just rush in through this door and they get slammed. I guess it does blend in a little bit, but you think they would drone it, but just apparently not. Another good one is over here on the barrel door. If you put it on this right side, the only trouble with this one is if they push in through this window, they're gonna see it before they go into drum, or barrel. But if they push in the barrel, they're trying to get the wall. They might have someone go to hold this hallway to make sure you don't push out split, and this is a really good spot to hit those players. Moving on upstairs, one good one is just a singular Kapkan on this double window break room area. The common spot is to come in, try and Kapkan this, but they'll usually work to take control of bunk before they do that, and having a player push out and get hit by this is pretty common, especially when you just have one. It's a lot harder for them to spot. Another really good one for upstairs is right here on this double door. This pretty much makes the hallway safe from people pushing, because they have to get so far up it, which by the time they're up here, they're like freaking out looking at the sights. They're not going to be up here looking like this. So this one gets a lot of eliminations, and it puts some pressure off of you if you're playing like a Mira right here, or if you're just a Rooney holding the cash door. This gives you some extra protection from them rushing in to take you out on that spot. And then for the final Kapkan trap, we have the cash double door. Classic. You just toss it, it kind of goes into that little wall right here. But it's pretty common for players to push into cash, not even notice them, or they can push all the way from radio and come into cash to try and take control of bathroom. And then this one, you can also still have your Kapkan traps right here, so it's kind of like a double whammy situation. But that's it for theme park. Now let's move on to villa. So for villa, a couple of my favorite spots are right here in the vault, just to put them on the vault door like this and like this. You'll rarely get both of these to hit, but if they take control of one site, try and push in the vault, they're going to get hit. They take control of aviator, push in the vault, they're going to get hit. It's just a good double Kapkan to have a little extra protection late round. Even if you're not alive, at least your Kapkans can do work to help your late round teammates. Now this spot works very well if you have a Valkyrie or an Echo or a Bulletproof or something watching this hallway. So you might think, oh yeah, this is obvious, this is the most default Kapkan spot in the game, which it is, but I still recommend you put some here. Just a little ba-da-da right there. A lot of times they'll push up from the bedroom and push all the way and try and take control of 90. They might hit it, they might not. But what you can do is toss a C4 all the way in living room, just above this plant. Makes it easy to remember. And they see your Kapkan traps, they shoot them, and they're going to shoot the default cam. That's why I say do this if you have an extra cam watching 90. But they go to destroy your Kapkan traps, you're watching them, they think they're safe, bang, they are dead. That is like right here, in case you can't see on the video, but it's like right on the double door that goes in. So it gives them kind of like some false security, and they go in and get killed by a C4. Another solid spot to put just one is right here on backstairs. Whether you are trophy or your kitchen, a very common thing is for players to break the barrel down there and go through it and come up these stairs in order to either get control of kitchen or come up the Astro stairs. And this one, it's not worth it to put 3, I don't think, but in case they miss it, you're going to hurt them, make them panic, rethink their strategy, and it gets a good amount of hits. Another solid one people always forget about is right here, the double door in kitchen. Toss a couple right there. They usually will try and push laundry, get control, and then once they have control of site, they're just going to be kind of like running around, deciding where to plant, and this can get you some eliminations. Again, the problem with this one, if they do take control of pantry and move here first, they will get them. But you're banking on them pushing laundry. And then the final Kapkan spot, I would go this one, not when you go this site, because there'll be a ton of drones here, but when you go either Astro or maybe even Kitchen, is just to toss a couple on this door that leads to the main stairs hallway, because they'll often, you know, just rush balcony, and they're either rushing through here, or they're rushing this way, and, you know, usually you'll have people watching this, or at least a cam or something, so it's not necessary to have a Kapkan right there. But if they try and rush to take control of 90, they get destroyed by that. But that's Villa. Now let's move on to our final map, Lair. Lair being a brand new map that is super confusing, has a ton of doors and hallways. Kapkan is probably going to be banned a decent amount of the time, but maybe you get away with it, you have Kapkan available, and you want to know where to put your Kapkan traps on this brand new map. Well, let me help you out. So first off, just as a general rule, I wouldn't put any on doorways that people entry from. So attackers, you know, they're going to entry from this. They can enter from all these different doors and hallway or windows along the hallway, and they're going to be wary of that. They're going to be checking those. So stay away from entry doors on this map, at least until it becomes well known. So one good spot is the R6 to master double door, just to have one or two on this double door, because a lot of players don't even know like what site is yet, so they're just gonna rush in, be like, oh god, I'm on site, and they're gonna, you know, if no one's on this site, they're gonna try to take control of the next site, and your Kapkans can catch them. Now, as for the first floor, most players don't even want to push into reception because it looks so intimidating. So honestly, I wouldn't even put any Kapkan traps right here for the time being. Maybe later on this room would become part of the meta, but for now, just leave it alone. So when you go to the armory site on the first floor, a really good spot is right over here by this weapon rack. This is a pretty common spot for players to push in, and they want to take control of this little room. Once they do that, they're going to feel kind of safe. They're going to be like, oh, now we can make our plan. And they're going to try and take control of range next and get hit by the Kapkan. Even if they come in range, they kind of blend in. It's not great, but, you know, more likely they're going to want the double door first instead of coming into this cramped room where defenders can be hiding in little nooks and crannies. It's also good if you go basement to have a Kapkan on the armory door, usually 2 or 3, because this is where the hatch is that goes to the basement site. So they're going to want to push in, try and ram up here, buck, bring Habana, whatever, and they're not going to be expecting a Kapkan to just be sitting right here. A couple good ones right here. Toss 1 and 1 inside of warehouse, just because players are going to be, you know, usually contesting this with a clash or a zombie or something, and then by the time the attackers are done with that, they're just ready to move on to the next part of the map. They're going to forget all about these Kapkans sitting there waiting for them to push in. And then our final spot is right here. It's called filtration. I don't know how long that's going to stay, but they push down the armory stairs. They're going to try this wall, always going to be reinforced and stuff, and you just toss a couple right here on the lab support door, and it's just something to help. They don't know, you know, they're pushing in here. There's a lot of angles for them to check, and they forget all about the Kapkans. Plus, you get this nice gray background that's kind of like the same texture-ish as the Kapkan traps. Makes them harder to see. But yeah, those are all the Kapkan traps that I currently use in ranked. I hope you guys enjoyed this series. Let me know your favorite Kapkan trap spots, or if you want another type of video like this where I show you all of my favorite, I don't know, Jaeger ADS spots. Not really, but you know, a zombie spots, etc., etc. If you want to see those as well. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you next time.